Hey, everybody, Kevin here with Pursuing Pixels, and welcome back to another edition of Save It for the Cast. And as always, or as usual, we're going to get to the chit-chat in just a little bit, and you're going to be stuck with just Randall and I again this week. And we might do a couple more of these, because Randall and I got into some serious chit-chat, and this is actually a little bit on the shorter side. But yeah, we get into some chit-chat kind of basically after we finished recording the duo episode that we did the other day, where we just kind of winged it, or the other week, I guess. We kind of just like wrapped things up, and I was like, man, we had so much good stuff. I didn't want to trim anything out for like the intro, outro, or even for like the there's definitely going to be more Save It for the Cast coming from that conversation, because we got into all sorts of video game stuff. But that said, we'll get into the chit chat in just a little bit here. But as always, I wanted to fire off a few games that I've played through, or I shouldn't say played through all of them, but I did play through some of them, as in like I actually saw them through to completion. But I've still been kind of like firing up Going Under. I know I mentioned a couple weeks ago. I've still been firing that up I've still been firing up Going Under from time to time, just going back at that one again and again. I know I mentioned that a couple weeks ago, and it's been a blast to just like keep it's just kind of my go-to game whenever I fire up the Switch. But when I've not been on the Switch, I've been hopping back on the PC and doing some streams here and there. And one game that I played recently was a game called Clockwork Kingdom that our pal Jamie Rowan sent over to us. And this is a game that was on my radar for a while. They were sharing some updates on Twitter, and it's just like a really like incredibly stylish top-down pixel art, but it's almost got like a 3D like sprite stacking effect, but it's also like a 1-bit like black and white. There's a few different palettes that you can unlock throughout the game, but essentially like a 1-bit pixel art, but like sort of 3D top-down, dungeon crawling, Zelda Metroidvania style game where you're like running around getting a bunch of abilities and pickups. But well, I say getting a bunch of those abilities and pickups, and you do get quite a few. You get like a dash, you get like a hook shot, or like more like I guess it's kind of a hook shot, but it's again from a top-down perspective. But it's so you can like zip through sections that would otherwise you wouldn't be able to get through them quick enough or whatever, even with the dash. And there's even a heat suit that you can get, which I actually missed along the way, and somehow was able to kind of dash my way through these like overly hot sections of the game, but which has a really cool visual effect during that as well. Like it has that wavy like heat distortion, but again with that like 3D like or pseudo 3D pixel art, 1-bit pixel art, it just looks amazing. This game just has so much style, and yeah, the gameplay, like for the most part, it's all just like puzzle solving, running around. Like even like at the very beginning of the game, like you can't even move. You unlock like every ability, like even moving down, then moving right, then moving left, and you're just like a toy in a toy factory, or at least some kind of factory. And yeah, it's just such a cool game. I had such a blast, and like a lot of times with these top-down games or Metroidvania games or whatever, any of these kind of games that focus on exploration, I tend to just never see them through because they're either too long or I get lost and stuck and frustrated or whatever. But this game, even though I did get stumped here and there like a couple times, I ended up beating it like on the single stream that I did. It took maybe an hour and a half max, and I thought that was perfect. And there's definitely like, I missed like a couple of the palette collectibles. I obviously missed the heat suit that I mentioned, or the heat resistant suit that I saw it on the map and I kind of just like forgot about it. And then the developer Jamie had mentioned like, oh, you beat it without getting the heat suit. And I was like, oh yeah, I totally forgot about that like little flame icon that I saw at one point. But yeah, it's just definitely just a blast of a game. I know one of our buddies in the Discord, Quasi Otter, hopped on and played it right after I did, and also really, really loved it. It was just like 10 out of 10. And I guess while we're talking about Quasi Otter, who's always on the pretty much the same wavelength as me when it comes to like a lot of these indie games on itch.io, I finally played Super Starduck. This is from the same developer that made Leaving the Tree, which I talked about on the podcast a while back. I can't remember if it was a Save It for the Cast or a regular episode. I'm pretty sure it was a Save It for the Cast, but it's got that same style, and it's I don't know how to describe it. It's definitely got like a retro feel, but it's not going for like NES or Commodore or any really particular style. It's got like these really like kind of chunky pixels and chunky chiptune soundtrack, but like kind of these really bright like pastel colors, a slightly different aesthetic than Leaving the Tree, but at the same time kind of similar. Like I don't know how to describe it, but it just feels like very homemade and very just crafted with love. I don't know how else to put it. And to that effect, this game, unlike Leaving the Tree had like this huge like physical copy that you could buy that the developer Eggnog Games sent our way, and it's just amazing. It's one of the nicest packages I've seen from like any physical game. Like, it's just so cool. It's one of the prizes of my collection. I really cherish that thing. And then this game, well, it didn't come or it didn't. There's no physical version of it that you can buy. You can actually buy like a book that goes along with it, and that's available on the itch.io page as well. I haven't picked that up yet, but I'm definitely planning to, because this game is just so charming. It's essentially same idea as Leaving the Tree, which is like virtually, it's a single screen puzzle precision platformer, like kind of just like a single screen arcade platformer, but like there's a bunch of distinct levels. I think I'm about to like level 12 or 15 right now. Last time I checked, there's 3 different playable characters that just all virtually play the same, but it's just so, one's just a little stronger and a little slower, and then vice versa. You got another character that's a little bit faster and a little bit weaker, but just so much fun, so much charm jam packed into that game. And I know like right when it came out, Quasi Otter was like, you got to check this one out, Kev. And it took me a little while to get to it, but yeah, it was really fun. And then I did want to give a shout out to one other game as well called Princess Farmer that I played on a stream recently as well. Kind of took a first look, although I'd played just a tiny bit of it. But it actually, funny enough, it kind of reminds me a little bit of this game idea that I had when my buddy Glenn and I were working on like game ideas, and I was just kind of brainstorming random ideas, and I was like, it'd be cool if there was like a match 3 puzzler like farming game, but kind of more like Wario's Woods, where there's like a character that you're controlling. And this game kind of is like that. It's very different than what I had in mind, but essentially there's just like a bunch of vegetables, and you kind of have almost like a Wes Anderson like side view of like the soil, where you can see like you can see what's beneath. There's like a side view like cut where you can see all the different vegetables, and then you're essentially either like pulling the vegetables or the seeds or whatever out of the ground, or pushing them back into the ground. There's like 2 separate buttons, and you're either pressing up or down and then moving side to side on the surface of the soil with your character. And you can only pluck, obviously, the top layer, and then you're either making match 3 matches diagonal, horizontal, or vertical, or even within your hand. You can hold up to 5 vegetables in your hand at once, and they still have to be matched, like in a row or in order. But you can do some really crazy combos, and I really like how this game's put together. At least, like, there is like a quick play mode and everything that you can dive right into, but there's like a story mode, and I'm not always the biggest fan of like narrative stuff. You know how I'm always griping on that, whether it's on the videos or on the podcast here, but like it's just not always my biggest, and this is essentially presented like a narrative adventure. A visual novel is the term I was looking for, actually, but it plays like so charming the way it does. Like, it just has these really great environments that you're almost on like a world map sort of, but you're just essentially like moving from point to point, and there'll be like a character that you can talk to, and it's just like real quick and snappy, and like it's just really charming, and the pixel art's amazing, and it's just like you get a few little decisions to make, but nothing that seems like I'm not sitting there thinking, oh, if I pick, if I respond to this character in this way, it's going to change the whole outcome of my gameplay, and I'm overthinking it. It's like I'm just kind of like, oh, do I want to be confident, or do I want to be shy about this? And it's basically just like, you can put a little bit of your own character or your own personality into the game a little bit, but that's kind of really beside the point. I really am just more than anything into the gameplay and the presentation. And so I guess the visual novel aspect does come into play, because even like on your shelf, I can't tell if they almost look like they're like VHS tapes, like they're like you're pulling them off to play like each episodes. Maybe they're they almost look like graphic novels or mangas or something. Like I can't tell exactly what aesthetic they're going for with that, but it's just really cool. Like the whole way the package is put together, and then again the gameplay is just awesome, and it's really mixing because it's like a narrative adventure, and I'm still kind of learning the ropes. I feel I'm only on chapter 3 or episode 3 or whatever, but it really feels like I'm like learning the ropes, and then they're like letting me like battle against an enemy and have like a versus battle, and then sometimes it's just like making orders almost for customers where I'm trying to make specific matches, or and they're not customers, but it almost has that like Overcooked feel. Like there's just animals in the forest that are like, hey, I want some beets or some radishes or whatever the heck. So I'm just having a ton of fun playing that game. Really having a blast with that one, and really excited to dig into that one deeper. I kind of went in a little almost blind on the stream, which I don't do very often. Like I just played a tiny bit, and I was like, yeah, let's go in fresh and see how this one is, and ended up really getting sucked in. The music's amazing. Got some it's just a gorgeous game, as long as you like kind of that 16-bit pixel art, and it's got a ton of personality, ton of charm. I really am into that one and excited to play more. And I know you can play 2 players, but I'm not sure if there's a versus mode or if it's co-op. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't been able to dabble in that mode just yet, but the fact that you can play with a pal definitely ups the value, in my opinion, in just about any game. So yeah, that's pretty much what I've been dipping around with these days. I mean, I'm always playing all sorts of stuff. But yeah, that's mostly what I've been into. We've got our 3-year anniversary coming up. So we'll have an episode slated for that in just a couple of weeks. We got the Pursuing Pixels James Jam Game Gam coming up to celebrate our 3-year anniversary. We're just at about a little over 80 people signed up with a little bit more than a week left to go for the jam. So yeah, I'm really pumped for that. But yeah, without further ado, why don't I let Randall and I get into the chit chat here now that I've been rambling for long enough. And yeah, we'll catch y'all next week. We'll catch y'all in the jam, and we'll catch y'all next year or whatever for the anniversary episode. But yeah, I'm rambling as always. Take care, and we'll catch you next week.
On Genesis there for a while.
No, that's awesome. I kind of like, I forgot about, like, I saw them on there, but they just, like, because I'm not familiar with, like, the title screens and stuff, like, right. It just didn't catch my eye as much, because they don't use the box art on the Genesis one, do they? They use, like, the title screen.
I think they use the box art.
Maybe for some reason I'm picturing it being like a letterboxed image, but maybe I'm just picturing Alien Soldier. Maybe Alien Soldier is the title screen.
Right.
And that's the only one. That's what I'm thinking of, because it is, like, right up in the top.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're right. Oh, and why did they do that?
Yeah. Just give it, because on the Super Nintendo, they show, like, the Japanese box art.
Yeah. Just use, like, the PAL or Japanese box art there. It's okay.
Yeah. Unless it never had a box. No,
I mean, it did in those regions.
Yeah, it had to. I forgot that. Again, I just, like, because it's not, like, embedded with the regular images, I just kind of glanced right over that game.
Yeah. Like,
realizing it was there, but kind of forgetting. But they do have a pretty solid Genesis lineup, I will say.
They do, yeah.
I was surprised. They kind of had all the heavy hitters, or a big chunk of them, at least.
Yeah, it seems like Sega at some point did a good job, like, getting all the rights to some of the best games on Genesis, and then they just can kind of point back to whatever contract they set up.
Yeah, like, we don't want to deal with this. We just want to make sure, hey, here's our, like, core games. Put it on the Mini, put it on this. Like, here's our core. We're good to go with Echo. And
it is dope that they have those Konami games, though. And then, yeah, like the Treasure stuff, and yeah.
Yeah, because Contra, it's just like a slightly different version of Contra 4, right?
No.
What about Castlevania?
No.
Is Castlevania like a remake or something?
No.
No?
Those are wholly new experiences.
For some reason, I thought Bloodlines was like technically a remake of the first Castlevania.
No, you're thinking of Castlevania 4, which is technically kind of a quasi-remake of the first game.
You're right.
The Super Nintendo game is.
You're right, yeah. Dang. Okay. So that's a totally different. Is it still, like, level-based like that?
Yeah.
Or is it a more, like, open world or Metroidvania?
No, it's more, it's closer to, like the classic Castlevania, but with 16-bit production values, and it's super moody too.
I remember seeing it in action and thinking it looked cool, but now I can't remember if it was that or if it was Dracula X, because I might have played
that one. Yeah, that one along the same lines. Yeah, the TurboGrafx version is phenomenal.
Yeah. Those games. I definitely prefer the more, like, level based ones over the open world or exploration ones.
I like both. I don't know if I could choose between, because I really, really like Symphony of the Night.
Mm-hmm.
So
it does feel great to play.
Yeah. But yeah, like,
and the Game Boy Advance ones that John always raves about too. Those are all good stuff.
Yeah, and like Rondo of Blood is really good, and yeah, Bloodlines. Everyone says it's really good. I just I didn't own it as a kid. I bought it later on and just never took the time to sit down with it more than half an hour or so. So
yeah, if you ever want to sync up on that one,
yeah,
please let me know. I'll definitely be happy to fire that up anytime.
And you're probably right that John would too.
Yeah, I bet you for sure he would. Or at the very least, we could just turn it into a random Castlevania conversation.
Right.
One way or the other. We could even just dig into, hey, what do you like better, the linear or the non-linear?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Easy money right there.
Easy money.
I want it easy. Easy money. Little Billy Joel.
Yeah.
Gotta love it. Picked up that greatest hits back in the Best Buy days.
Oh, nice. On CD or on vinyl?
CD, baby. I don't think we didn't.
Nice.
I don't think we had vinyl back in those days.
No,
at the store.
I guess not. No, we didn't.
It's crazy. It's so weird being at like Target and they just have like vinyls. In the store.
Like a lot of it, like online.
That's like kind of all the music they have. It's
kind of wild
in the store.
Yeah,
like they don't even bother with CDs anymore. And I can't blame them, but
no.
Man,
I'm gonna buy this stupid Demon Throttle game.
I know. I'm gonna between that and what's it called? What game were Pocky and Rocky? I'm gonna end up buying both of those with those. There's my 60 of my 70 remaining bucks right there.
Yep.
But I really should because I know I'm gonna as soon as Demon Throttle comes out, I'm gonna be so mad that I didn't buy it.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
I know it.
Here we go again, man.
Let's see, is it even still available? Can I add this to the? Oh yeah, I think so.
Who's it through? Is it limited run?
I'm on Special Reserve Games.
Oh, that is. Yeah, it is them.
And
for a second, I was like, is it Devolver on their own putting it out?
Switch single. What does that mean? Physical cartridge, booklet, packaging. Packaged inside the Switch game case. Okay. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. This is like a second open pre-order since the first one sold out fast and people were upset about it.
Yeah. That's good. That's at least good to hear that they weren't like, overly stubborn about like, nope, we said this many and that's it. Like it's cool to them at least be like, okay, there's still demand. Okay, we can justify making more of these. Because I do get with like, for some of these being like, hey, we need to know how many of these, what the demand is for this game before we shell out the money to print these physically.
Yeah. There's an inherent risk there. Like you could order a bunch and not sell them all out. And
Right. Like less so of a risk on the Devolver end, I guess, but a risk nonetheless, regardless of how much money they have. It's, I suppose, a risk.
Yep. Yeah, I'm going to buy that and I'm going to buy that magazine too.
Yeah, that magazine is sweet. The digital version looks great too, because I'm part of me is like, oh man, it's a bummer that the physical version won't have like the GIFs and the moving images, because it looks really cool with like the little like snippets he showed with like some of the GIFs in action. It's like kind of like that. I don't know. That's just one small bummer. I'm sure it'll be in print. It'll look awesome, I'm sure. But
yeah, I'll have to think about that.
Oh, speaking of, man, not to go into it because I don't know about you, but I'm definitely tired on my end. But I got those one of those bitmap books for Christmas. I got that like Super Nintendo Pixel book, and then I ended up ordering the one that I didn't get that I wanted, like the just kind of like compendium book.
Nice.
Holy cow, they are such good quality. Like they're like just so nicely made. It's unbelievable. Like I was blown away by how nice they are.
Is that hardcover too, right?
Hardcover with both of them have like a slip case. Like not like a one of them has like the kind of paper sleeve over the hardcover, but then also they both have like a hard, like really nice hard shell.
That's what I'm talking
like
about.
Slip cover.
Yeah.
They're just so well, like, and then the compendium one has like, I don't know, like 7 or 8 like different color ribbons that you can like bookmark pages with. Like it's a really well, like, because part of me is like when you see it, it's like it's the unofficial compendium. So like you see unofficial, like, oh, this is gonna be some hack,
right?
Like put together thing. It is like put together with so much love. It's unbelievable. I'm like really looking forward to reading the little blurbs and snippets.
Oh yeah.
I was thinking I was just gonna it'll be a cool thing to just have out and flip through and look at the cool pictures. And I was like, oh no, there's like the people who put it together with love, and I'm excited to read what they have to say.
That's sweet.
So I'm really I'm kind of bummed. I like the NES one is either, I don't know if it's out of print, but at least on Amazon it's like super expensive. The other ones I think I got for like 50 or 60 bucks. Like
Yeah,
the
it
NES
probably
one's
is.
up to like 150.
Yeah, probably is out of print.
Yeah,
Although
so I'm
if it
Super
sells well
Nintendo's
enough, it would probably come back at some point.
exactly. But I was like, Super Nintendo's my console. Like I can be happy with just having that one. It's not like I'm gonna have the whole series, but they do have. I don't know if they have Turbo Graphics, but they have like Commodore 64 and
wow.
Master. I know they have Master System. I don't know if they've done a Genesis one yet.
Oh, they gotta do a Turbo and a Genesis one. That would be great.
I gotta think they will. Yeah, at the very least Genesis. But,
yeah.
I think they have like an Amiga one. They have some older school ones. So
Yeah, if they're willing to go Amiga and Commodore, I don't see why they
Yeah.
wouldn't do Genesis and Turbo.
yeah,
Especially Genesis.
I definitely honestly, like if I was working right now, I could easily see myself being, I'm buying all these, like,
Yeah.
and they're really well made and like thick as hell.
I love that.
Really well done. I definitely like the compendium a little more. The other one's just kind of random, like pixel art and images, and it's just more random, I guess.
Yeah.
So I haven't had enough time to flip through it, but it's still gorgeous. Like the images they got and like the paper, the prints.
Yeah.
Like it's the quality is just
like a nice
top tier.
glossy paper type of look. Yeah.
yeah. You're just like this. Like it almost feels like $60 for those books is like a steal. Like
Yeah.
it feels that well made.
Man.
Which is cool. Like, because sometimes you get stuff like collector stuff like that, and you're just like, oh, this is kind of lame.
Yeah. This is like not hardcover, and it just kind of like
they're, I don't know I don't know how to explain it.
It's not great necessarily.
Yeah, and it's like that. You want this to be like a timeless item,
Yeah.
and like these feel like as long as I take care of them, they will be.
Yes.
So
yes,
kind of like
another
that,
thing
like
for the collection.
Like it's probably not quite on the caliber, but like kind of like that Kelvin and Hobbes collection you have. That just like that's like a timeless piece of like, as long as you keep that thing in good shape, that thing is like priceless.
Yep,
in my mind,
always staying in the collection.
Yeah,
easily.
Yeah, I've always wanted to pick that up myself, but I've never gotten around to it. Another pricey item, but
it drops in price pretty significantly from time to time, though.
It's one of those like random like gift, like around the holidays. Oh, here's a gift set.
Yeah, like I feel like I've seen that thing drop like to where it's been clearance randomly for like $60 from someplace. I'm like, oh my god.
Because I was gonna say even for like I feel like when I would see it, it's like the going rate's like 200 or whatever. Yeah. And that's honestly feels pretty fair for how hefty that is. And like,
well made.
Again, the love and the quality of like the actual cartoons.
Of course.
Not to mention.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great.
Good stuff.
This was good stuff, Kevin.
Yeah, this was a great, nice, like impromptu winging it episode. Been a while. Been 8. I don't even know if we've ever done one where we've just kind of totally winged it like that.
No.
Felt good.
Yeah, give you a lot of material there. You got at least to save it for the cast in there too.
At the very least, yeah, might even be able to double one down. Yeah, thanks for doing this one today too.
Yeah, of course.
Because we'd definitely be in the. I mean, not that it's the end of the world if we ever have to miss one or put out one of the old episodes or do 2, save it for the cast in a row or whatever. But definitely good to have another one in the can here.
Yes.
But I am definitely stoked to dig into some Kirby and some Elden Ring when we get the crew together.
Yes, and if that's next week, either for that episode or anniversary, that's totally cool.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about brainstorming anniversary ideas too. I didn't even think about that.
Is it bad that it's been long enough that I can't quite remember what it is that our template is for the anniversary?
I don't even really, other than I just remember, like, I know for the first one, we just did, like, pick a game that hasn't come up on the podcast yet.
That's what it is.
I think we did the same thing for the second year, but we did it, like, a little differently. But it was something to that effect, like, just a game you love that we just hasn't come up yet over the years.
That's exactly what it is.
So I'd be cool to do that. I could also, since you're not on Twitter, I officially made the page for the game jam.
Okay.
The Pursuing Pixels James Jam Game Gam.
That's great.
And we've already got 35 people joined last time I checked. So
awesome.
I'm fucking pumped. I was going to be like, if even 10 people sign up, I was going to be pretty stoked. So
35.
Yeah, I'm pumped. And it's going to start on May 16th. So we got a ways to go.
Yeah.
That'll be like roughly right at our 3-year anniversary, roughly. So I was like, I'll do it like in celebration of that. Kind of. So I'm pretty pumped. I'm going to try to do some streams, The jam's gonna be a week long, so it's not like a weekend crunch where people have to get stressed out. Hopefully,
right.
They can just like take their time, chip away at it over the week. The theme is permanence because we had to pick a P.
Of course.
But I feel like permanence. I feel like people could come up with some cool stuff.
Oh yeah, that's very open ended, but obviously lends itself to gameplay ideas.
It's exactly. I was like, it could be a lack thereof permanence, but I was like, people can definitely run with this. I feel.
Oh yeah, that's the perfect way to do it. It's open ended enough.
Yeah, and like I know a lot of people like announce the theme like the minute that the jam starts, but I was like, let's give. I want this to be like a leisure. Like I don't want people to feel like it's overly committed. Like I've got to crunch and do this crazy thing. Like just sign up if you have time to do it over that week. Cool. If you don't, no problem. But
you'll get better products just throwing the idea out that early too.
That's exactly
gives brainstorming time.
Exactly. It's more about like doing the work in that amount of time rather than just like, here's the secret ingredient is plantains, and you're like, what the fuck do I do with these? Other than eat them, they're good, but I don't know. I don't know how to fry these and prepare. You know what I mean?
Plantains are good though.
They are. I love those Hibaritos sandwiches or whatever. So good.
If we end up needing to record back-to-back weeks here in the future to do both the Elden Ring Kirby thing and the anniversary thing, that's totally fine with me. I can make that work.
Cool. I appreciate that.
Because I know the anniversary thing is on a little bit more of a schedule, and then otherwise people are hot on the other games, so it makes sense to capture that in the relatively near-ish future.
Yeah, and it's just fun to dig in. Like I love when we like talk about a game multiple times and just get into more of the nitty gritty, or when it's just a game like or Elden Ring Kirby where we don't have to like necessarily set the stage of like this is what this game is.
Exactly.
It's just kind of like, okay, Kirby, you know about the new Kirby, let's go.
Exactly.
And we can just dig in, which is always fun.
Yep. The frame of reference is already there.
Exactly.
Yep.
But yeah, what are you doing for the rest of the night? Just kicking it with the fam?
Yeah, drink the rest of this beer, see if Tina's still up. And she works relatively early, so her bedtime might already have happened, but I'll go see what the deal is with that, and one way or another finish this beer and probably go to sleep myself within the next hour or so.
Yeah, I'll probably be doing the same if the UFO stuff doesn't keep me up all night. We'll see.
Absolutely.
But yeah, that's been fun. I'm excited to see what ends up on the Save It for the Cast of that UFO stuff. That stuff's ridiculous, but it's so fun.
That's great.
Definitely recommend if you're in the mood to just watch some nonsense. Definitely recommend checking it out at some point.
That's some turn your brain off stuff, but not always, like you said. You just
again, that was totally my intention. But then I was like, oh, wait a minute. What if the Great Pyramid is a time machine? No. Yeah, some of it's a little ridiculous, but the science behind it, they're like, okay, whatever, man, makes some sense.
I know,
crazy.
Got to figure it out.
Yeah, they're like the Great Pyramid could be weightless. It could be a spaceship.
Yeah.
Okay. The extraterrestrials. All right, but yeah, tell Tina and Fiona I say hey.
Will do.
And good sesh, man. This is a fun one.
Yeah, it was a great one. Have a good night, man.
Yeah, take care and take it easy.
All right, see ya.
See ya.
You want to clap?
Oh, yeah, shit. Good call.
I thought that's what you were about to tell me, but no, it was just like, let's get recording, which I totally get. I like the business aspect, but I think you'd probably like a clap.
Definitely. At an hour 39.
Hour 37:55.
All right, just 1 minute behind.
Yeah. Because I immediately started talking business. Wait a minute.
I know, that's right. We're on task today. Other than the fact that we've burned 2 hours already, almost.
Yeah, well, no, it ain't burned. We got
an episode or two.
Yeah, there's gold in there.
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Perfecto.
Boom. Yeah, we're on it. That was right on top.
Perfecto.
So. Cool. We want to just dive right in?
Yeah.
Let's do it.